What's up everybody, welcome to today's video, and today I'm going to take you guys through my full pull workout to help you guys get a bigger back. And the reason I'm doing this video is because for lots of us, our backside is one of the hardest muscles and multiple muscles to grow, get bigger, get stronger. So with this video today, right now, I'm going to explain two of the biggest things you're most likely not doing that can help you grow your back. But also I'm going to walk you through my entire pull workout, explain to you what I'm doing, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it. So to start out, I just jotted down two things that before you even get into this video, ask yourself, am I doing these two things right? Am I doing them wrong? Or should I be getting better at them? So the first thing I have jotted down is, are you targeting your lats properly? Just like with any muscle, you need to target the muscle properly. You need to be doing the right form, the right tempo, the right amount of weight, whatever it may be, so you're hitting that muscle properly. With your backside, whether it's your lats, your rear delts, your rhomboids, your traps, whatever it may be, if you're not feeling that muscle work, if you don't have a mind to muscle connection, where lots of us have a horrible mind to muscle connection with their back, most likely not going to be growing those muscles very efficiently. I know for me, probably that first year I started bodybuilding and actually focusing on feeling muscles, it was so hard for me to train my back. And honestly, it probably took me at least a year before I fully understood what a mind to muscle connection in my back felt like. I actually did that doing pull-ups. So the first thing to help you get a better mind to muscle connection with your back is do the movements that you can feel your back the best in. From the start, it might be no movements at all. So what I would recommend, if there's no movements you can really feel your back with, just start with something like a lat pull down or a pull up where you have a wider grip and you can feel your lats, your upper lats, your serratus, your teres minor contract. That's really gonna help you feel that pump and get a really good squeeze in your back. Also, I mean, it could be anything. I just know for most people, a pull down or pull up is typically the easiest way to build a mind to muscle connection in your lats. So that's what helped me. If you don't have that mind to muscle connection, you're not gonna be training your lats hard enough or just grow them. I mean, for most of us guys, you'll see a guy with a big chest, big shoulders, big arms, but their lats are just straight. They're not wide, they're not flared, they're not thick. That's just because they're not training them efficiently. So that mind to muscle connection is huge. Another thing you can do to get a better mind to muscle connection is train with somebody or have someone that can spot you doing your set. When I'm saying spot, I mean put their hand where you're supposed to be feeling the mind to muscle connection. And I know for most people with their lats, say if you're doing a pull-up, I typically like to put my hand right on their lat as it flares out, and then I like to kind of angle it to the backside and put it right here so they can feel that squeeze when they contract or they do a row or some kind. So just having that hand placement there immensely helps the mind to muscle connection. Side note, I was training with a buddy yesterday. We weren't training lats, we were training chest. And he was having a hard time feeling his chest on one movement. And instantly, as soon as I put my hand right where he's supposed to be feeling the movement, the movement was 10 times better for him. He felt it, he got a great pump, it felt amazing. So that's a chest day, but the same thing applies for us on back days. We need to have that something there to help us get that mind to muscle connection if we don't have it, because that is huge. Obviously, it's a given. If your form is not correct, you're not going to get that mind to muscle connection. You're not going to feel the muscle like you should be. So always, keep the weight controlled. Don't go too heavy if you can't control it. Take it nice and slow. And understand the planes of motion you are working in. Having the right plane of motion when you're training back is huge. If you're doing a lat pull down, the last thing you want to be doing is externally rotating your shoulders and doing a high row of some kind if you're trying to do a vertical pull. So understand that plane that you're working in. The next thing I had jotted down to help you make the most out of your back days is going to be understanding the anatomy of your back. So I might pop up a picture here. I don't know how I'm going to edit this in or not yet, but understanding the anatomy of your back and understanding the muscles that make up your back. Just like anything, if you want something to grow, you need to understand what's there in the first place. So essentially, your back, the main muscles in your back are going to be your lats. Your lats are the muscles that run alongside here. The longer kind of muscles on the side of your back, those are your lats. In the upper back, we have our rear delt. Our deltoid kind of comes across, but in the back side, it's our rear delt, our posterior delts. We have our traps, which run along the middle of our back. Also our rhomboids, which also run down the middle of our back. And the teres major and teres minor in here. We also have our serratus, which is kind of on our side, like our obliques kind of, but they also play a role in our back as well. So we need to understand how these muscle groups can be targeted and really understand what our goals are. If your goal is to kind of add more width to your back it's probably a better idea to be focusing more so on your upper lat, upper back area, because that's going to be creating more width up here and create that taper if you want that wider back. So understanding that, if you want a thicker back, you're probably going to be wanting to pay attention more so to your inner back movements, like your traps, your rhomboids, stuff like that. Even your middle back too, your whole lats, doing things more so like rows and stuff like that. So it's important to understand what your goals are, what you're trying to do. Also, look at your leg and muscle groups. One of the reasons you might have a poorly shaped back or not a very big back is because you have a very underdeveloped set of muscles. Obviously, the very common one is just our lats are not very flared. For most people, just because they just don't train them very hard or they don't know how to train them properly. For lots of us too, our rear delts, and from the side, your rear delts can really add a whole different dimension to your back. Just having that in the back of your head to understand, learn the anatomy of your back, and just like with any muscle group you're training, learn the anatomy, understand the way the muscles insert and originate, understand the fibers, which direction the fibers run. That's all going to help you pick the correct movements and structure a plan of attack so you can train that muscle optimally. So those are the quick two things I wanted to say before we get into this workout. So right now, I'm gonna go get some other stuff done. I'm gonna train here at 3 today, like usual. And I think we even have Tyler in this video too. So we're gonna make a good video. I'm gonna explain to you every little thing I'm doing with my back the way it is. My back isn't huge by any means, but I do consider my back one of my stronger points. But yeah, so I just hope to teach you guys a thing or two about that as well. So let's get into it. All right, welcome to today's workout commentary. So we're starting off today's pull workout with some wider grip cable pull downs, and we're doing these with a wrist rotation. So we come down and work our way to a supinated grip all the way down at the bottom. And what this movement is designed to do, it's designed to kind of light the entire back up to really get blood just all over in our back to really start this workout off on a good note. So as you pull down from the top, you're getting more up your upper lat, your teres, stuff like that. And as you supinate down towards the bottom, you're really activating more of that lower lat. And the key with these, drive those elbows. Just like any kind of back movement, the key is almost always to drive that elbow. Initiate the movement with your elbow rather than your bicep, because your elbow is what's going to contract your lats. Another key thing with this movement here is we're doing a little lateral flexion. So I'm kind of tilting to the side that I'm pulling down with. And that's what's making this movement worthwhile. So here, we're just doing 2 working sets. We did about 3 warm-up sets to get to a working weight. We're doing 2 work sets. The first set, it's still hard, but we're saving about 3 reps left in the tank. And the last set, we're going all out to failure for each side. So when you're doing a pull workout of any kind and you're trying to grow your lats, it's important to understand all the areas of your back. So in today's workout, what you're going to see is this very balanced back workout, and it's going to hit all areas of our lats pretty equally, pretty efficiently. So we're not really going to be leaving anything out of our lats completely. So it'll be a really good pull workout. And these, if you do them correctly, your whole entire back is going to be lit up. Ideally, you're going to feel it all the way from your upper back and all the way down into your lower back. And it's all just about using that elbow and really feeling that lat stretch and then contract on the way down. And another big key thing here that might help you out is using straps. I know with these, you're stretching a lot, your grip is being tested, so that grip might give up before your lats do. So having a strap, kind of keep that grip in line and let your lats do all the work. So now we're doing into our second movement of the day, and this is going to be a slight incline, chest-supported dumbbell row. So what we did here, did a bunch of warm-up sets, maybe like 3 to 4, got up to a good working weight, and then we're doing a working set here. Not to failure, we're going to save about 3 reps in the tank here, and then we're going to go all out in our next set. So as you're seeing, again, it all has to do with the elbows. With a row, this is a movement where you kind of want to get away with retracting your scapula. And you can see I'm shoving my shoulders back here. And it's all in the elbows. You'll see my elbows are like the farthest driving point back, and that's what's initiating the squeeze in your lats. So if your lats, you have really bad lats, you're trying to grow your back, look at your elbows. I guarantee you if you improve your elbow range of motion and how you're driving and utilizing your elbows, it's going to immensely change the way you train your back. So here's our top set. It's going to be a cluster set. So we're going until we can get about, 8 to 12 reps in there. But the big thing here is I'm saving a few reps left in the tank. I'm only going until I get some perfect reps. Then once my form starts to fail a little bit, I'm going to drop the weight. And As you can see, I'm just getting a little stretch there. So my form stopped, drop the weight, and then rest for 20 seconds. Pick the weight back up. Do as many more perfect reps as you can. And the same thing here. As soon as your form starts to fail again and your reps are no longer perfect reps, drop the weight again, and then you're going to rest. And it's okay here if your chest does lift off the pad slightly, but as long as you are initiating that squeeze with your elbows and getting a really good drive back. So this is the last little round here. We did 3 mini sets in this cluster set. In this last round, you're gonna go all out, and you're even gonna see me do some like partial reps towards the end, because it's the last one. So you gotta give it everything you got. And if you do these right, these will really kill. So ideally, with this cluster set here, it'll allow me to get like say 13 or 15 reps. Or if I just went all out without resting, I might have only got 10 reps, if that makes sense. And that hit a lot of our just lats in general, as well as some traps and rhomboids. But it was mainly just for like a big lat thickness builder and purely isolate the lats. So you can see with my elbow positions, they were kind of close to my sides, and that helped me isolate and really hit my lats more so than anything else. So our third movement of the day is a wider grip lat pull down. It's actually more of a medium grip, but this is really going to be for that width again. We're hitting that upper lat and also a lot of our teres. So I should say it's going to hit our entire back essentially, but it's going to be more so of an emphasis on our upper lats and our teres. So the goal here is ideally to get a pump in your armpits. That's what I like to think of when I'm doing a lat pull down like this or with a medium grip, trying to pump my armpits up. And that's how I know I'm hitting that upper lat and teres and building that taper kind of to my body. So here we did 3 sets, worked up to, obviously did warm-up sets to get to that working weight. And then each set, we kept working up in weight until we hit a set that we could go all out for about 10 reps to failure. So I'm working up to about a 10 rep max here, if that makes sense. So this is my last set right here, going until I hit failure. And as you'll see, I'm going to have Tyler come in and help me with some assisted reps. So with your lats or really any muscle, once your form starts to fail and you can't push through a rep without going to bad form, it's a really helpful idea to have someone give you like an assisted assist. And that can help you squeeze out a few more reps while still keeping your form in line. Because again, the big thing with your lats is using those elbows. And if those elbows come out of line, you're going to be internally, externally rotating your shoulders wrong and essentially just taking all the tension where it needs to be. So with these, the ideal is just pull straight down with your elbows. Again, it's all in the elbows. What I'm telling myself here when I was telling Tyler is we just got to focus on keeping your elbows and driving them down in a straight line to the ground, because that's what's going to allow us to really just hit our upper lat and teres. And even more so if you come out farther forward, that's okay too. Just make sure your shoulders are healthy and in a good position. The farther forward you come, the more pure lat you're going to get. And the more out you're going to go, it's just going to be more biceps. So I kind of want a happy medium here, get more teres and upper lat. So now we're moving on to a back thickness builder kind of, and we're going to be doing a Meadows row. And a Meadows row is awesome because it's really going to hit our rear delts. The pump I got in my rear delts after these was awesome. It's also going to be hitting our mid kind of traps area, also our rhomboids. Not a whole lot of lats are being involved in this. Obviously, yes, there's going to be some to some extent. It's getting some teres, but mainly our rear delts, traps, and rhomboids here. So this is really good. We used a landmine row. Obviously, that's what a Meadows row is. It's using like a landmine row, but it really allows you to kind of lock your body in the right plane and drive with that elbow. Again, just like any back movement, our elbow positioning is key here. And just everything is being initiated with that elbow. Again, I'm using straps on these just because it's a really wide grip, grabbing the end of the barbell, and your grip will kind of fade pretty fast. So having that thing to keep that grip in line while allowing you to isolate the muscles you're trying to target is really helpful. So here we just did 3 sets of about 10 to 12 reps, actually 12 to 14 reps. And what you're seeing here is my last set. So we're going all out to failure for each side. And you'll see at the end, Tyler's going to help me with 2 assists just to get the most out of the movement, leave nothing left in the tank. And with these, it's important to know the plane your elbow's in. My elbow is angled back slightly. That's okay. I'm still hitting the muscles I want to. But if you angle your elbow really narrow and kind of keep it to your sides, at that point, you're going to be hitting a lot more lat, where for our purposes here, we're trying to hit upper back like traps, rhomboids, rear delts. So we want our elbow to be really flared out, and that's what's going to allow us to isolate those upper back thick muscles. And this is surprisingly a killer movement. Like it actually just drained us. Like we were surprised that it killed that bad, but it was a good one. So now our back is pretty much fried. We've pumped it full of blood, gone crazy high intensity with everything. So now it's a really good idea to stretch it out and just kind of completely just finish it off and get everything stretched, broken down from kind of all angles. So what we decided to do was a seated, like a stretch, I don't even know what to call this, a seated stretched cable row. And we did 2 grip attachments to kind of let us widen our grip and also get our wrist able to rotate. So what we did here, it's kind of combining a rack pull for your lower back, as well as a vertical pull for your upper lats, teres major, teres minor, and then just like a straight cable row to get our pure lats, as well as our rhomboid traps and stuff like that. So it really just kind of demolishes your entire back and finishes it off awesome. We did 2 sets here. 1 work set, just kind of like anywhere from like 10 to 12, and this last work set will just be just an all-out AMRAP set, as many reps we possibly can get. So I want to talk about my form here. With this one, it's a really big kind of compoundish movement. So it's important that you really control that negative because you're getting a lot of muscles being stretched and utilized in this movement. So if you're going to go too fast, you don't have certain control, it's not really going to be the safest thing for you to be doing. So again here, to feel and get the most of this movement has to be utilized with the elbows. As you can see, you start with the vertical pull at the top in that stretch position. It's going to be your elbows that initiate that. And as you come through, your elbows are still driving through, trying to minimize the amount of bicep work you're doing here, and you're utilizing all elbows. And ideally, you're just going to come up to a straight position. Don't lean back extra because that's just going to be unnecessary trap and rhomboid work where we're trying to get mainly lats and teres here. So just come up to like a straight position. And as you can see, these kill if you do them right. And here's a better view. The grips I was talking about, we did 2 like just standard grips. And what that's going to allow us to do is able to rotate our wrists so we're not in a fixed position. And that way we can allow more freedom with your elbows to be narrower, wider, or however we want to do. Also, it allows us to get farther back and get more range of motion. So that's going to wrap up today's pull workout. This is a little bit of biceps at the end, but I just wanted to show the back for today.